One of our longtime values here is to live and serve as a family. The past year has reinforced our passion to be together, to worship together, to serve together, and to lift one another up. After all, community is not just about belonging somewhere, but belonging to one another. So, like it or not, we're meant for each other. Here at Kensington, we love creating beautiful, memorable services to celebrate Christmas, Good Friday, and Easter. We had more than 42,000 people celebrate these holidays with us, and we loved the weeks leading up to them too.
Our 4-week Advent series called Light Breaking Through brought us to Christmas Day with hearts ready to celebrate the birth of Jesus, the light of the world. Our 12-hour series and 30 Days with Jesus journal helped us to walk with Jesus through the final hours of his life before the cross.
Have you ever heard us say that we prefer circles over rows? We believe that the next step for a weekend guest is to jump in, to get connected in a small group, course, or care initiative.
Over the past year, we had hundreds of small groups meeting all over Metro Detroit and Traverse City, as well as incredible courses like Alpha and Bible Basics.
I think it's just so essential for people who are part of the Kensington community to actually learn for themselves how the Bible is applicable for them.
Our care initiatives also met people just where they're at with ongoing Celebrate Recovery meetings, divorce recovery, grief recovery, marriage mentoring, and blended family workshops.
We baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
We believe a defining moment in the life of a believer is his or her baptism, and we as a community get to witness it. So much leads up to it. Jesus does a work in your life, then you respond with the courage to show publicly all that he's done in you privately.
We fully believe that the church isn't a building, but is God's people. However, we have some beautiful, spacious facilities that we love to share with our community. In November, we welcomed Oakland and Macomb counties into our 3 permanent buildings as they processed thousands of local residents who had experienced flood damage. It was truly an all-hands-on-deck experience as we supported our community.
One of the biggest things that I always think of is if the church closed down, would we be missed? And so we want to be a church that's in the community and helping the community. So this was a great opportunity for us.
Kensington founder Steve Andrews has had a long-time dream of having a multitude of people groups and languages worshiping God under one roof. At Troy campus on a Sunday morning, there are 3 services taking place in English, Telugu, and Portuguese.
The beauty of us being inside the Kensington, an American church, and have the possibility of having our service in Portuguese, it kind of keeps our identity.
Last fall, I was overwhelmed by the compassion and love that I saw just between our campuses, specifically Clarkson and Orion, as we came together at the Orion campus and opened the building because of the Oxford tragedy and gave kids and students and parents an opportunity to grieve. One of the most amazing parts of that evening was watching the students come forward, locking arms together and being able to pray with them and love on them, and the school teachers that were there that came forward. We had a chance to love them and pray for them too, and watching everybody in solidarity as a community come together, that was remarkable to be able to be part of that.
We're dedicated to planting, equipping, and encouraging new churches all over the country. Each church that we support shares our passion for spreading God's love and making disciples. We recently celebrated 2 new churches which launched in the past year.
Yeah, well, first of all, I just want to say thank you to Kensington Church, because honestly, our church, New Anthem in Mount Clemens, wouldn't exist if it wasn't for this church. In the life of our church, we've seen over 600 people say yes to Jesus in the life of our church in the last 3 years.
So good. But God has uniquely positioned me to speak Arabic and to be able to go after and have relationships with Arab Americans. And so that's going to be our little bit of an emphasis to go after the Arab American community, but we're also going to be a very multicultural church in the city of Sterling Heights.
And the Move Out Network is really a way to build community, to come alongside some incredible teams and organizations that are really rooted in relationship in the community.
At Kensington, we're on a mission to move out beyond our 4 walls to bring the love of Jesus to those around us. We have more than 50 move out teams in Metro Detroit serving local communities by tutoring, gardening, coaching, cooking, fixing cars, doing disaster relief, supporting foster care, and mentoring international students.
Our school partner teams serve local students in many ways at our 10 partner schools. We made an impact this year through one-on-one tutoring, guest readers, and library support, staff encouragement by providing school supplies, uniforms, and a school-wide program for building character.
Whether it's a student or staff member, you know, when somebody comes in and knows you, we see how important that is. The smiles, the kids who know that you're my person and that you're there consistently to see them. Such a positive message to them that they really are cared about.
One Move Out team called Micah 6 Community is in it for the long haul. They are transforming communities in Pontiac in an incredible, personal way. In fact, the leaders of this team moved to Pontiac to live where they serve.
You can look at a census and decide what a neighborhood needs. You can look at maps and data and whatever and decide what a neighborhood needs. But until we heard it from the community, until we heard it from people in the neighborhood that that was actually something they wanted or that was a space that they actually cared about, we weren't going to jump in and try and force anything.
Over the past few years, they have planted community gardens, started youth programs, and are even renovating a historic elementary school in Pontiac to be used for a community center.
In the fall, our Afghan Welcome Team volunteers made a 6-month commitment to come alongside 4 Afghan families resettling in the area. These volunteers have made the past year of their lives about welcoming and caring for these families during this huge adjustment.
Other Move Out teams have stepped in to support these families too. The Full Throttle team has provided vehicles, and the International Friendship team has connected the families with interpreters.
The relationship between the member of this group is awesome. And day by day, they want to do something good for the family. So you be motivated to do something. If you don't do something good, it seems that you are one step behind.
Our Traverse City campus has been busy this year building their own move-out teams to serve the surrounding community. They now have 7 teams, including home repairs, foster care support, community gardens, community barbecue, student mentoring, and care for the incarcerated.
We continue to see momentum at our Traverse City location. Our teams are growing, our culture is thriving, and we're so excited about the buzz that's happening here. God is building us to be a community that exists for His purposes, and He's giving us an opportunity to invest in the next generation. Jesus is transforming and mobilizing Traverse City.
Jesus instructed us to go into all the world and to make disciples. But I believe discipleship really has to begin here, right here at home. And the challenge is to invite men and women and children into a deepening relationship with Jesus. And that's critical for 2 reasons. First of all, it changes our lives. We become more like Christ. And then out of that, God begins to give us a vision for what we can do to serve the kingdom of God. And that's why we have all the ministry around in our communities. That's why we're serving in Pontiac, we're serving in Sterling Heights, in Detroit, up in Traverse City, because that's the mission that God has called us to. First, to become disciples and to grow in our discipleship, and then to go make disciples in our community. So all the work that we do, providing material resources for people, helping with education, helping with people who are widowed, repairing cars, that's because disciples of Jesus do that. Because when you know Jesus, you listen to His voice, you respond to His call, and you discover the gifts and the passions He's given to you, and you have impact. And so this last year has been extraordinary again, of all the growth and ways that we've impacted our community. And as I look ahead to the next year, I am so super excited because I believe there's even more that God is going to call us to do. He's going to call you to do. There's a passion, there's a giftedness, there's a calling in your life that you haven't even discovered yet. And I would just encourage you to listen to that voice. And part of the way you do that is by jumping in. If you haven't done a Bible study, if you haven't joined a group, if you haven't joined a Move Out group, do that this year. Get involved and see what God would reveal to you. And let's believe together with great joy that God is going to use Kensington Church not only to change our own lives, but to change our communities.